I really tried to enjoy the summer this year, but I'm so glad that it's now behind us. I meant for this video to be completed well over a month ago so I could show you all how I'd been trying to make the best of my least favorite season, but that's not how things worked out. It's harder for me to be as productive as I'd like during the hottest months. I don't hate the summer just to be a contrarian. I wish so badly that I could be excited about it the way others seem to be. I even watched a slew of videos on YouTube about how to romanticize summer, and I tried listening to summery playlists, watching summery TV shows, and generally tried to hype myself up for the elements of summer that I do like. I love working in the garden, I love all the wildlife and the flowers, fresh berries and fruit in the grocery store, cute summer dresses. This worked for a few weeks, maybe midway through June. But once the humidity spiked to consistently over 90% and the heat waves hit, no amount of mental reframing helps. My energy levels drop, I feel constantly irritable from the heat, and every time I step outside, it's just loud. I don't feel like myself. I'm stuck in this persistent lethargic haze that just won't clear, and I'm powerless to change it. All I can do is wait. After dealing with what I can only describe as a summer seasonal depression for multiple years now, I am finding some ways to cope with it and occasionally lessen the symptoms. Working in the garden really helps.
Yeah, baby!
Even though it's uncomfortable being out in the heat, it gives more purpose to the season. I find joy in watching the things that I've cultivated grow, and I know the fresh air and the sunlight is good for me. I've stayed much busier this summer as well, teaching at multiple summer camps and rehearsing for a musical with my local community theater. And of course, I look forward to any chances to go to the beach. When I'm by the shore, the heat doesn't bother me as much. I'm trying to listen to my body more and work with the fact that I have less energy during this season, rather than fighting against it.
So I couldn't help myself and I dug up one of my little potato plants. And they're so itty bitty. Look how tiny it is. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Yeah, the curiosity got the better of me. But these two are not too bad. I definitely am going to leave the rest of the plants a little bit longer. And once again, re-attempting to grow some zucchinis up a post. I had started them growing up the post and then I gave up because they looked unhappy, but they kind of look waterlogged on the ground. Like these two in the back just don't look happy on the ground. So I painfully put them back up on the post and those leaves should turn themselves around in a couple days. This one I'm going to leave on the ground because this one actually does seem happier down here. So that way I have both systems going on and we'll see which one is the best. So far, this one is the only one that has given me fruit. I've gotten 3 little zucchini and 1 massive zucchini from this plant alone.
It's been so hot this month. I mean, it's always hot, July and August around here, but every year gets worse, like consistently in the mid to upper 90s with over 90% humidity. But it's just been so hot that the garden is definitely struggling with all this heat. I couldn't figure out why my tomatoes are coming in like really beautifully. Like there's so many decent sized green tomatoes on the vine, but they aren't ripening. Turns out it's the heat. Like over a certain temperature, they just don't turn red. A lot of my plants I think have just been struggling in this heat. Like a few things bolted. The green beans are doing okay. Like, I don't know, on the whole things are doing pretty okay, but the heat is definitely affecting things. Plants and people. But with July behind us, that's only one more of the miserable months to get through. I know people say like, oh, don't wish away certain periods of time, or don't like, you know, don't wish time away basically. And it's like, well, when it's August, July and August, they can just be gone. Because it's not just that I don't like the heat, it so negatively affects me. There is so much about summer that makes it really, I don't know what the correct word is. Like, it's just sensory overload. The heat makes me feel just so irritated, and bugs constantly zipping to and fro. They like to try to take up residence in my hair and my ears and I don't appreciate that. Just on a physical level, I really don't like summer. And I wish it wasn't that way, because I know a lot of people really enjoy this season and enjoy this time of year, and it feels like I'm missing out on something that everyone else gets, and I'm like, I just don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't see what y'all see. I do feel like it's more than just a dislike. It does feel like a form of seasonal depression, because I definitely do experience that in the winter less than I used to. I think because I've learned how to cope with it. Like, I know it's coming, and it mostly shows up as irritability. I kind of know how to handle it. I try to make sure I'm taking plenty of vitamin D and keeping busy and you know, all kinds of other things. But with summer, I never anticipated that. So to start noticing those symptoms in myself in July and August was really confusing when I first started noticing it. And I was like, wait, but seasonal depression is for the winter. But 2 years ago, I think, was the worst of it, when like I woke up one day and I just felt this heaviness on my chest that I hadn't felt in years at that point. Like, it was a full-blown depressive episode. It was just so heavy and so all-encompassing. And so this year now, being aware that that is a potential with this season, I think I've been doing a lot better with preparing myself and trying to combat that preemptively. And on top of that, looking back over the last few years, well, it wasn't just me who was struggling. The whole world was kind of upside down. It still is, but I think it was hard for me to see in the midst of it that I was also extremely affected by external circumstances. First with the lockdowns, and then with living upstairs for 2 years. Like, I knew that I was miserable, but I don't think I realized just how miserable. And so when the when my usual seasonal slump came in of summertime, it just compounded with that pre-existing misery of being in a living environment that just was kind of detrimental to me. So now that things are opened up and we're in a living space where, you know, it might not be my ideal, but we do have so much more privacy and I have my own space, and that stress is mostly alleviated. Now I'm freed up, my mental bandwidth is freed up to only have to deal with the normal summer specific seasonal depressive symptoms. So it's been much easier to deal with this year, where like I still am irritable and I just am like, ugh, and I have that brain fog of like, I just can't, it's hard to focus and get things done, but I don't feel that heaviness and that misery. I'm just like, ugh, I hate this season. I just feel irritable. And again, a lot of that comes down to the sensory issues with summer. So some of the things that have helped though with that for me definitely have been the garden, even though it can be physically miserable being in the heat like that. But I know that that sunlight and that fresh air and just moving around and being outside, I know that that's good for my body. So forcing myself to do that definitely helps. My sleep schedule is still all screwed up, so that's not good. That I have not got sorted out. But also this summer I've been keeping much more busy. Like, it stresses me out sometimes to be that busy, but I know that it's better for me to be doing things and getting around people. I don't remember what else I wanted to talk about. I feel like there was something else. Oh, I think it was just another thought on changing my approach to how these videos are formatted, because when I first started, I'm still figuring out exactly what I want this channel to be and how I want to approach it. Like, fundamentally, it is a vlog channel. When I first started this second channel, I tried to do like a monthly vlog and was just like, here's everything I did this month, and that became very quickly overwhelming and just another chore, essentially. And so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna back off the monthly approach and just space it out to every couple months when I feel like I have enough footage collected and have something to say. And I like being able to weave some kind of narrative or through line into the footage from the past few months, but sometimes there just isn't a story. Sometimes it is just random snippets, and yet again, that has started to morph in my mind into something stressful where I feel like, oh, well, I need to catch them up on every moment. I think with the last one, I was feeling like, oh, I need to show the transition from spring into summer, and it's like, duh, they know that that happens. It happens every year. So I'm kind of falling back into a mindset that I had in middle and high school when I used to keep journals. When I would keep journals, I always felt the need to, in every journal entry, update and fill in every detail since my previous entry. And so it kind of just became this like running log of my life of mundane details, and it became a chore because I felt like, well, I have to update future me reading this on every little thing that has happened since I last wrote. And it's like, girl, just skip to the highlights. So I think I'm kind of falling into that mindset, into that trap again of like, oh, I need to fill in all the gaps or make it blend together so that it makes sense from the last time. And I can't like leave a gap of time, which is not the case. Like, what if I just didn't film for an entire month? What if there's just nothing really going on that I think is important to capture, and I just want to jump ahead in time a month or two, or make a vlog about one specific event and not worry about all the surrounding details? I think I should be free to do that. So I think it's good that I caught myself falling into this mindset, because that was just gonna make this become another chore, and I don't want that. I want this channel to be a little bit more of a free format, as opposed to my main channel, which does seem to work better within certain formats and formulas. I want this one to be more freeform and just kind of let it be whatever the heck I want. I have a hard time just like letting it be. I'm like, no, but I need to craft it and mold it into this beautiful, perfect thing. And it's like, no, no, you don't. Because I would like to post here more often, but in order to do that, I need to take the pressure off of myself to craft it so much into any particular thing and just kind of smash those video clips together and let it be whatever it's gonna be. Okay, I think I have rambled for quite long enough. I need to go to bed. And you probably do too. If you're anything like me, engaging in revenge sleep procrastination, it's a thing, look it up, then I know you're watching this video at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and you shouldn't be. Go to sleep. You know what? I'm gonna let voiceover me do the outro, because I'm feeling weird about it right now. I don't know.